Monday, Motivational Monday. It's your boy, Pancho V312.
It's your girl, Miss J Pretty.
And thank you for joining us today. We're definitely going to reach on a couple of topics, but first we're going to start with the quote of the day, quote of the week, which is very strong. And it's nothing more common in this world than unsuccessful people with talent.
With talent.
And that's what we're going to speak on today. We're definitely going to reach onto it and go out there on some different branches. I mean, what do you think? What is the most common talent that people have that's making them unsuccessful? Or what is the most common talent? Let's start with that.
The most common talent is your own mind.
Yep.
It's the strongest talent that you have as a person. And I do believe the reason why a lot of people are unsuccessful at it, and these are very common topics. You have fear. You have your own insecurity. You have jealousy, envy. And if you're so focused on worrying about the next person instead of getting your own shit together, you just become another unsuccessful person.
Correct. And you're not using your talent properly. Once you get out there, once you use it to your best ability, even if it's sports, music, as well as drawing. I mean, look at it. There's some great artists out here right now who are doing album art, doing their own pieces, doing everything they can. And even DIY, do it yourself things. So there's a lot of talents out here, but they're not being approached or showing.
They're not nourishing their craft.
Correct.
And what is an uncommon or what is a common person to you? What is a common person?
As in talent-wise, or just a person in general?
Just a person. Because we already stated the general theme is basically we all have talent, and it starts with our mind. But there's so many other factors that play into a person becoming uncommon. But now, due to everything that we see, it's kind of like unsuccessful has become common.
Yep.
Nobody is shooting, nobody is striving anymore.
Putting in that extra effort.
Yep.
And it's showing exactly now, it's showing what you learned growing up. Because it matters now. Are you going to apply a talent? Because now everyone, is starting their own business, reaching out on their own terms, trying to make money without working for somebody. And that's what it is. I think that's what's basically coming down to is even though you have a talent, you still have to work for somebody. I mean, for instance, look at musicians, look at, for instance, some sports stars. You still have to work for somebody to enjoy your success. And then you have some that are even playing at the playground or playing at your local bar or playing at local halls. And they're 10 times better than someone you hear on the radio or see on TV.
Yeah.
And you're like, why aren't you signed? Why haven't this? And it's just, did you apply yourself? Did they do it? Or can't really say all the time, oh, they didn't come look for me. They didn't see me. Yeah. But now we have all these opportunities to do it. So, I mean, definitely don't let your talent pass you by. She said it starts with your brain. How do you motivate yourself? What makes you do it? For us, we have things that motivate us. Like, when we got bills. And that motivates us so much to even pay them bills. So when we got money left over to enjoy ourselves. And that's what matters. I mean, for me, I got kids. So that's my responsibility. I got to take care of it. And it's a lot. So that's my motivation. What's your motivation? What motivates you?
What motivates me is a legacy. Yes, I have bills. We all have bills. We all have this common theme of get it done, make sure everything's straight. But in the long run, I want to know that not only I'm okay, but when I have children, my children will be okay. My spouse will be okay. Everything will be laid out, that foundation and that groundwork that I'm putting in right now, it's going to be laid out for a solid foundation. I don't need no cracks in my stuff.
I had enough cracks already.
Exactly.
You've gone through enough already. We both have. And that's how it is. I mean, I think that brings it back to the point of unsuccessful talent also comes with a team.
Right.
Do you have the team? Do you have the correct people surrounding you? Keeping your mind straight as well as you're supporting them and keeping their mind straight.
Yep. And it also starts at home too.
Yes.
With a lot of children coming up who don't have families, family members that are willing to put in that extra time, effort, nourishment into their brain, into their creative spirit. Parents not putting common sense into their children. Parents not instilling respect. parents not instilling the fact that you have to work for something.
It's have not given to you.
Earn something.
Yep.
You know, it's so crazy because what you see, everyone, we all know the children are our future.
They sure are.
But guess what? If your parents, or if the parents are not putting and instilling these morals, these values, these intellectual properties inside their children,
somewhere else.
Exactly, and they will end up learning the wrong thing.
Yeah, going down the wrong path, end up jailed, dead, or doing something you didn't want to do. Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean,
and that's a common factor to creating unsuccessful people, because it did not start at home. Yep. It did not start in the presence of your parents. Even if you come from a single family or a single parent home, you know, even a single parent can still be a good parent. But as they say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
It does.
And you also have to look at it this way. Was it only 1 out of 20, 25 kids that actually come up in that way, actually motivate themselves and make it? And that's the statistic that everyone America wants to portray, and the media wants to portray. Oh, that one person, that one LeBron James. You don't have to be a basketball player. You don't have to be a sports star. You could be a chess player. You could be a swimmer.
You could be a doctor. Yes. You could be a lawyer. You could be a teacher. And that's just it. I think everyone gets hung up on this social media because they see all the glitz and glamour and stuff like that. What about your words? What about being a motivational speaker? Yes. What about being an author?
A lot of avenues to pursue.
Big brother, big sister programs. It's so many things out here, so many different resources, but it's so portrayed in the media that all they want is the glitz and glamour. Some people don't want the glitz and glamour.
Some people just want to get the work done or love doing the work. Exactly. And that's the one thing I think I think now, because if you look at our education, I think we're 27th in the world in education. It's not top 10 when we should be top 10.
Right.
We should be. We should be able to train our kids and raise them up to be able to do it. But what we're doing is setting them up for unsuccessful opportunities.
And also
and wasting their talent.
And it kind of goes back to the parent as well, because you have some parents that love their kids so much and they want to protect them from everything. And they shield them from everything. That when the kids finally do get a little taste of freedom, they go buck wow. They go crazy because they ain't never experienced it. Yep. They ain't never had it. And then you have the other parents that say, my kids don't want for anything.
Yep.
But have you taught them anything?
Exactly.
They get into the real world, don't know how to wash clothes. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to do any of this. And it's like, no, we want to motivate you to make sure that you are motivating your children to do better. And for the children that's sneaking on here watching it, because we be watching our show. Yeah,
we know. See you. We see you. We know it's past your bedtime. Mm-hmm. We know it's past your bedtime. You better go ahead and read a book and relax.
Right.
Make your next move.
Right. You know all the songs on the radio.
Yup.
What's 8 times 8?
I think it's 64.
You know, but they don't. I'm pretty sure. And now with school shutting down and parents actually having to take the time out to be the teachers, shout out to all the real parents that's out there really doing it and making sure that their children are learning something and still being productive in the middle of a pandemic. And you know, school season's coming up.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. And we want you to know that Wit Us Cares for all the parents and children out there that have been watching the show. We want to let y'all know that we care. We do see what's going on, and we are going to be talking about more real life topics coming up. It's not always going to be fun, but you know, after them babies go to bed and you know you got paid, we're going to turn up a little bit more.
You have
but because this is motivational, we want to motivate you to raise your children.
Yes. Don't let your children raise themselves. You stay in there and raise them. Exactly. We don't want talent wasted. If you have talent, you got to set them up.
Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus.
You cannot waste it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I got to get my coffee. This is coffee, guys. No liquor. I'm on a diet.
Yeah, this detoxing is hurting me, but it's all good. I'm still hanging in there, though. You hanging in there?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there.
I never had so much water before in my life unless I was in the pool of the ocean.
Finish preaching. Big fan. I like that. I like that. Go ahead. We don't want talent wasted.
And that's how we get unsuccessful people with talent.
Right.
We're not pushing them. You have to take time to understand what your child does. Take time to understand what they like, what they do. If they act a certain way, they might like this. If they like that, run with it. For instance, my child, he loves weather. He loves anything to do with weather, anything to do with stars, everything. My goal is I got to make sure he goes to NASA.
Right.
He has to see it.
And motivate them to accomplish their dreams. I'm not saying let them just be wild children. I'm saying, when they get too wild, you grip them back into reality.
Discipline them. It's not going to hurt them. It's not going to hurt.
It's okay every now and then, pop your kid, just let them know. Like,
they be talking back and need it. And you be like, Lord Jesus, give me the strength.
So I don't have to strangle this one, but I love him so much.
I know. My son knows there's something I give him now. Them little footsteps. It's all good though. But I don't want to raise someone who has talent and be unsuccessful. Even though it's most common, that's where it starts, is with the kids. And then even now we're going to get into it even as you're a teenager. If you're a teenager and you're just figuring out your talent or figuring out something you love, pursue it. Don't care what social media says or what anyone else says. There's groups out there that like the same thing as you or 10 times more interested than you.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with learning it. For instance, we watch multiple shows across the world.
Yes.
Across the world. We see different cultures. We see how different people are raised. We see how different countries are run from poor to rich.
Yep.
It's a learning experience.
Yes.
And you learn, then you look back and you're like, I'm actually thankful I live in the United States. I'm thankful I can do so much.
Right.
Some people, they don't have a chance. Like, for instance, in France, remember the guy who climbed up the wall to save the child? They wanted to make him a French citizen that day. Like, oh, you're a French citizen. So before then, was he a French citizen?
Nope.
But once he saved that child,
I think
he's
he was a refugee.
Yeah.
He was actually a refugee.
Yes.
And it's so crazy because you can go in other countries and for women, you cannot go to school. If you do go to school, I watch a program about it in India and in Cambodia.
Yep.
Libya.
If
you hit 13, you're done.
Yep.
They pull you out of school to get married.
And you married to somebody with 5 other y'all. And y'all don't have a choice.
You don't know what life is. You don't know what sex is. You don't know what your body is. You don't know these things. You don't know how to really keep a house. But they snatch you out of school by the age of 13. And they even were talking about it in the UK. How many people come over from third world countries and things like that. Girls are going to school. Girls are trying to
experiencing things they never had before.
Yeah, they're trying to keep going to school.
Yeah.
But
education.
Literally, by the time they hit 14, 15, 16, they said it in the UK, I forgot which year it was, they said 587 girls went missing from school. They were in school, and next thing you know,
they're gone.
They're gone. The parents pulled them out of school, shipped them off, and married them off. So you have to be very, very thankful.
And they're doing the same thing over here too. They're sending them over here too.
Yep. It's so many it's so many avenues that we can go down as a people and as a culture. You don't have to just go down one avenue. And if you're like us, you create your own lane.
Yes.
You have real life topics. You have a real brain, people. Sense. And it's funny because even scientists say it. We only use like about 1% of our brain. Could you imagine if you really focus and use your brain, how far you can go?
Actually, in the movie Lucy, they use Scarlett Johansson and they like enhance her brain power.
Yes.
And she went nuts. I was like, what?
Exactly.
But that also brings us back to the point that other countries might not have it as well as we do. But there should not be no reason for you to be unsuccessful. None. As well as go ahead and make that opportunity happen. It doesn't come to you. You create them. And we will live on that. But we're going to bring in somebody today, our special guest interview. Let's pump them back up for a minute. Woo! Special guest interview today.
Yes.
Bring you more motivation. You can see where he came from, what pushes him. And
you can actually hear his motivational quote.
Yes.
He's going to give you something that we just gave you, but he's going to say it in his own
way. From his own point of view perspective. That's the word I'm going to look for. Perspective. It was one of those two. I didn't know.
One of them.
One of them. But great motivation. Helps us keep going. We jam to him all day while we working.
Yeah.
And, we wish the best for him because he's nonstop grinding. So let's introduce you, our boy, TrizzillBangin. Hey everybody, happy Motivational Monday. It's your boy Pancho V312. I'm with my co-host Miss J Pretty, and we got a special guest, one of my best friends who I've watched, work from the bottom to the top. Next year, you're probably going to see him on everything up and coming, but I think he's already coming. It's your boy TrizzillBangin. Say, hey, what's up, boy?
What's happening, familiar? What's good?
What's good, man? So, man, I just saw, you just dropped brand new joint, Millionaire. Fire. Like, how you don't miss, man. You don't miss. Everything's a missile. It comes in. It's killing. Even the mixtapes, even just the little EPs you put out there. I mean, it could be 2-3 minutes, but it's fire. What's motivating you to keep going? Like, how you keep going?
Everything, man. Shoot, like starting on my own, starting owning my own studio, and then being able to go to another city, moving down to Atlanta, and got it like the same way I had it back home. Now it's going from in Atlanta. Like, it's just like taking them little steps, when you take those little steps and get to see all the progression, and when you look back at it, like, damn, how far you came, man. It's just like, that's what keep you pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember when I first met you, you was already in that grind mode and didn't stop. So I was like, man, like, let me catch on. Let me follow. Let me see, because stuff was fire. Because I started on Activated. That was my first one. That was the first song.
That was like what, March of 19.
Yeah, you dropped on my birthday, and then you dropped another song on my birthday, Up, Up, and Up, which is I was like, yo, don't lie now. You do it. You did it for me. You did it for me. All right, you did. But that one is definitely fire. So bet. My internet went out like a bitch.
You good, bro? You back? That's all that matter.
Oh yeah.
So like basically, like as I started getting older, I got like to 18 years old, and like I started realizing, like, bro, I could really go like far with this. I went to college. I went to Frostburg State with a couple homies, and they rapped, and I was on my beats heavy. I was engineering. I started learning how to engineer and like record vocals. I wasn't really rapping too heavy yet, but I was just messing around, making little songs here and there because I had the equipment to do it. And then once I went to college, it was like a breakthrough. Like, everybody tell me, like, bro, why don't you rap? Like, we be freestyling, little stuff like that. Bro, why don't you rap? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, we'll try. And I dropped like my first little thing, and it went crazy. You know what I'm saying? I dropped it back when like Spinrilla had first was created. And when my tape dropped, it was next to Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan's Rich Gang, their first Rich Gang tape. And I don't know if y'all know who Southside is, but he's like a top producer in the country. My mixtape was in between their two mixtapes, so my mixtape was getting mad traction. I think that mixtape did like 200,000. You know what I'm saying? But this was like back 2014, maybe even like early 15. And after that, it was on. You know what I'm saying? Like, on. It was just like, yo, all right, bet. I can go crazy with this. It wasn't about the money. I didn't care about no money. I just was trying to do it and have fun. You know what I'm saying? And as I started progressing, now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I bought my own studio back in Baltimore for 2 years. I sold that to move to Atlanta. Now I'm in Atlanta working with big dogs. It can happen that fast for you, but you just got to stay dedicated.
That grind never stopped.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying, you met me in full on grind mode, because that's when I really realized, like, nah, like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I can't do none of that. I'm trying to support my family and do everything I want to do off of this now. You know what I'm saying? So
you was doing that heavy then too. You was nonstop.
Yeah, it was up. When you met me, it was when I already had owned the studio for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I didn't even know I was moving to Atlanta at that time. I was just going with the flow. You know what I mean?
What made you move to Atlanta? Like, you were just like, I gotta get there.
So like, you know what happens where we from when you start getting a little status and you start, becoming a little more recognizable. More bullshit come with it. More good shit too, but more bullshit can come with it too. I look back and look at Lord Scooter. I look at Nick Breed. I look at a lot of artists like Lord Charlie, like people that I know from the city personally that got whacked or you know what I'm saying, got put in a bad predicament because of their notoriety. Because once you become known, bro, you're putting a target on your back.
Instantly.
You know
And
what I'm
everybody
saying?
wants what you have.
Yeah, and people knowing I own a studio and I'm producing for these rappers here, there, and you know, people just gonna assume I got a lot of money in my pocket or on
Right.
me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't wear chains and jewelry and shit like that. You feel me? So it's
Never
like,
have.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like people looking at me like, hold on, bro, he gotta have something on him. I just, it wasn't that I was scared. It's just I know better, and I know I could do better. You know what I'm saying? And I came down to Atlanta, got around a bunch of people that just was like, put me right into circulation. You know what I'm saying? Ended up engineering for Cassidy, being one of Cassidy's main engineers, working with like Lil Quill. You know what I'm saying? Working with people that are big
Quill
dogs. You know what I'm
blowing up
saying?
even more than what it is now. He just made
Yeah,
it
bro.
international. He made it
I'm trying to tell you,
international. Yeah.
bro. Getting
Mad
crazy,
props
man.
to him. Big shout out to him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, now when he cut off, he ended up cutting the whole recording out. So the motivational quote that you gave, which I thought was excellent, can you please repeat that to the young children so we can have it on video?
For sure. Like I was saying, I was telling them, don't believe everything they're hearing in these raps. You know what I'm saying? All these artists that they're listening to don't even probably do half of the stuff that they think, you know what I'm saying, that they're hearing. You know, they call it cap rap for a reason. So I tell the kids, like, please, if you're under the age of like 15, 14, put them jugs down, put them guns down, especially in my city, man. Like, y'all gotta enjoy this childhood while y'all got it, man. Like, you're not gonna be a kid forever. I thought I was gonna be a kid forever. I turned 17. I'm like, damn. I gotta
then
go to
life
college
hits you
now.
right in the face and doesn't care.
Boom. Mike Tyson straight to my jaw, nigga. I'm telling you, bro.
That's how it is.
I was lucky to have family to help me and shit, but like even then, you know, some of these kids ain't got family to help them once they get that age. They mama's kicking them out the fucking house, telling them, go ahead, go be a man then. Since you want to be on that time, go be a man. It's like a lot of these kids ain't ready to grow up because they're living in this fantasy. And that's what creates the most biggest monsters we got in our city. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a fantasy. You feel me? These kids is living in a fantasy. So I just want kids to come back to reality, you know, and these Percocets and this lean and all these drugs they doing ain't helping that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just clouding their thoughts so they don't feel like they're in the real world. You know what I mean? So ultimately,
Pancho, what I was stating to him was, I have nephews, I have nephews. They all range between 23 to 7. And I was telling him that the nephews, a lot of these young boys, they look up to these rappers. They have the platform to actually speak change into these young minds versus them just running out here doing whatever because they want to imitate and emulate the person that they see. That's not cool. And I really appreciate your motivational quote. It would definitely make some heads turn and think about what you say.
We're gonna resonate on that all week. We're gonna make sure we push that to help the youth. We're also trying to bridge the gap, and I figured no one else better than to show it than you. A real man who actually worked his ass off to get where he's at, and he's not done. He's not even done.
And he's from our city.
Cool.
Yeah, he's from our city, and he's still pushing hard. That gives us the motivation enough to even push just like that. But we appreciate that, man. I went to heart. We're gonna make sure everyone gets that. But also, before we end this interview, we gotta let everyone else know. Newest song out right now. It's called Millionaire by TrizzillBangin. You can go on YouTube. We're gonna put the link in the description. You can go to his IG. You can go to his Twitter. You can go in Spotify, iTunes, Tidal. It don't matter. It's everywhere. And you better get it.
We got it.
You better get it. And you better get that Life's a Blur because it's the truth. He speaks the truth, and that's motivation in itself. Triz, I mean, thank you. Thank you again for taking at least a couple minutes out your day. I know you're busy. I know you're getting that grind on. I know you're working hard. I know you no play, all hard work all day. Man, blessings to you and your family. We
appreciate it.
Same to you, y'all. Bro. Make sure y'all have a great one. Thank you again. Everyone, thank you again for tuning in with us. It's our boy TrizzillBangin. Go check his shit out. It's your boy Pancho V312 and your girl.
It's your girl, Miss J Pretty.
Hey.
On three, all of us say fuck with us. And thank you for tuning again with 1, 2, 3, fuck with us.
Yes.
Gang, gang.
Yeah.
So clearly, as y'all saw, we just in here getting our life to the Millionaire song by
TrizzillBangin.
All right. So
it's gonna be jamming though.
Yes, it does. Yes,
oh,
it does.
Man.
Woo. If you have not, make sure that you check out the business page on Instagram at fuck_with us. Okay.
Oh, it is underscore. I forgot about the underscore in there.
Yeah, make sure that y'all check us out for all behind the scenes bloopers, outtakes, extendeds. Yeah, you don't want to miss it. Thank you. Thanks, Trizzy. That was a fun interview. Thank you for giving us your first interview.
Yes.
And we hope that everyone checks him out. His link is going to be below.
Right down there.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and comment.
And make sure that you like, subscribe, and share our page as well.
Right.
Yeah, y'all know y'all want to fuck with us. So
you already fucking with us. Come join the fam. It's like a cookout.
Right.
It's like a cookout.
Well, all your aunties and cousins. So now,
yes.
Let's get serious. Communication, okay? So this ties into everything that we've been talking about. You even heard it from his own perspective of unsuccessful people with talent. So how can we bridge that gap? It's no better way to diffuse a problem, work through a problem, get to the root of a problem more than communication.
And it helps you. It helps you talk to yourself. You have to communicate to yourself so where you can see why or where the problem lays. It starts with yourself. You figure out with yourself, where do you go wrong? Where's your plan? If this lane's not working, you're going to go to the other one. As well as if you have a team that's helping you and they're trying to build themselves as well, you have to communicate. But during communication, there's a lot of heated arguments and a lot of, let's say, exchanges that can occur. Now, how are you going to diffuse the situation? How are you going to take that to make it better for yourself and for the team?
Mm-hmm. And also, too, with that, when you're an adult, even with children, I'm just going to say adults because that's mainly who we're projecting to.
Yes.
It's okay for a person to agree to disagree. We understand miscommunication happens, but when it happens consistently and it becomes a liability, that's where you need to check it.
Yep.
And when you have issues, like he said, it starts with yourself. So if you're torn in between the two, wait until you're able to make clear, precise, accurate, full-blown, confident decisions.
Yes.
It's all in your communication. What are you projecting? What are you looking for? Who are you looking to speak with? And when we were talking about unsuccessful people with talent, we also mentioned a lot going back to the parents.
Yep.
If you don't have that communication with your children, please open it up.
Yep.
I understand I'm the parent, they're the child, but at the same time, if you don't have that security net, that security of safe and honest, open communication, then you'll never know who your children are.
Yeah. And I mean, back to the point you said, yeah, I'm the adult, you're the child. And that goes on a discipline aspect. You can't use it all the time with everything. You have to actually listen. You can say, yeah, I'm the adult, you're the child, listen to me. That's 100%. Everybody says it, that's correct. But it's how are you going to portray it when it's not a discipline moment? How are you going to portray it when it's not needed to set them on the right path. You're doing it to, hey, let's do something that you love, something that you like. And that leads up to making a successful team and learning how to communicate. That helps them open their feelings, open their social life. Even when they get older, you have some teens now and some young adults now that still can't communicate.
Right.
And they got talent.
Right.
But they don't know how to say it. And they're like, yeah, there's social media. Yeah, there's all these platforms that you can put it on.
And it goes into that emotional aspect of it. Once a person's wall has gone up so high and they feel like
there's no way over it.
It's no way over it. It becomes very, very hard for you to connect and have open, honest communication. One thing that I will say, I read about it, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they stated that they actually put Blue Ivy in a confidence coaching class because they realized that she was really shy and she would talk to them, but then she wouldn't. And then even Jay-Z said it. After a while, he was taking the twins. He had the twins. He had Blue Ivy. He was trying to get her ready for school, and he had to take the babies with him. And he said it on David Letterman's Netflix special. He said, you know how you just going on the go, and you like, get in the car. He like, back in the day, like, your parents told you to get in the car, you just shut up.
Get in the car, yeah.
He like, but she just turned around and said, Dad, you hurt my feelings. He was like, in that moment, he just stopped. He stopped and was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. Like that, he was like, that was so cute and so honest. Like, how can I get mad at that? But that's what you want. You want open communication. With my nephew, real story. It was a time where we were trying to get him to explain himself about, something. And I had to really explain to him, like, I love you to death. He knows his aunt will pop him. But I'm just like, I'm not going to hit you every time you do something. I just want you to answer me. I want you to speak up. I need you to say something to me. And it took a while. And it comes with patience. Communication and patience. Because I was ready to talk to me. He was like, and then finally, after a while of heated tension, he finally just spilled it out how he was feeling. And he was just really upset. And I'm just like, oh. Wow. And once he gave me the clear communication, I knew how to handle it. But you have to open up to your children, and your children have to open up to you. I had to really take him and look him in his eyes. And of course, when kids feel as though they're going to get in trouble or they feel upset, they'll look down, they'll try to avoid it, or they don't know how to really come at it because they want to speak, but they don't know how to. I had to look him in his eyes like, I'm not going to hit you. I just want to know what are you feeling? What's wrong? And it was like a whole breakthrough moment at that point because that was the first time he had actually said what was bothering him. Yep. And it was so bad. He had his grandmother, it was me, it was his uncle. We're all standing there on the porch trying to get it out of him. And he just would not talk. I'm talking about we were going back and forth with this child for about 15, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. But now, anytime I get him and I have a conversation with him, he talks to me.
Yep.
He talks to me. And you need that, like, children need that safe haven, whether it be their parent, their aunt, their cousin, whoever. They do need a place to feel safe and secure.
And not go to the streets looking for it.
Exactly. And instead of them going out, reaching out to other family members, it should start with you.
That's facts. And then even as
I don't have no kids. That's my nephew, so.
It's your child anyway.
Right.
It still matters. It still matters. Like you said, it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
That's everyone putting it in together. Mm-hmm. Then we also have the older, that's where you start at. And then you have the teenage years, your young adult years, to where you're at as a final adult.
Exactly.
And during that time, did you have to take the time throughout the years to learn how to communicate or what's needed. And I believe that the communication starts young, and then you have to keep it going for training.
Right.
For instance, a lot of people don't talk, and they also have another problem called anxiety, or depression, or I don't sound good, or self-esteem issues.
Yes, self-esteem.
Don't just go with it. Go. Don't be afraid. That's another thing that helps you communicate that with yourself.
Yep.
Like we promoted mental health. If you believe your anxiety or your depression or anything is more than you can bear, you can always reach out and communicate and talk. And sometimes some people just need a hug, need to be held and let cry. Just let them get it out, whatever's bothering. Sometimes you just need to hold them. A good heart-to-heart hug is more meaningful than saying, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? It's okay. Whatever's bothering you, you can tell me. And you hold them. Let them cry if they have to cry. That's the communication. I think you're breaking the barrier between, oh, I'm thinking something of you, then you're letting know, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here for you. Him or her, anybody. And that's what we need as people, as a human people, is that we need to love each other. And we want to motivate each other to love each other. And we can do it.
Yeah.
Don't argue. Stop fighting. Take the communication. Like Trizzle said, he was telling our young kids, don't believe in everything you see. Exactly. Don't be quick to pick up a gun. Right. That's why we bring up the point about children. Communicate to your child. We don't want any more of us to be a statistic or a stereotype.
Yeah.
Let's end it. Let us be the wealthy ones. Let us be the leaders that we once were. And there's no reason not to be. And, big ups to Triz, because he's been pushing for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't know he had talent until he said he went to Frostburg, went to college. And then he got around the right team, and now look at him. Yeah. Successful with talent.
Yes.
Successful with talent.
Yes. But this also, too, now, when it comes to communication can be a double-edged sword.
Yes.
You do have the ones who really do have the anxiety and the depression and things like that, and it's hard for them to open up. And then you have the ones... It makes
it harder for you to open them up.
Yep. And then you have the ones that are manipulative with it. So you have to be mindful of what kind of role you're playing when it comes to communication. And communication even goes like in our previous topic for Motivational Monday, couples in crisis. A lot of couples go into crisis because there is no communication. No communication. And then also too, like we stated, you need patience, you need communication, you need that barrier, that safety, security net, whether it be emotionally, mentally, physically, wherever your security net is, it has to be an open space of communication.
Do you think respect plays a big part in that too? If you respect someone more, you're easier to talk to them. Or if you like them more, you're easier to talk to them. Do you believe that is?
Yes, I do.
Because I mean, I'm looking at it,
But then again, also too, people have their own ways of dealing with things and coping. And I've even been told, I really didn't start getting into my own personal communication and what I wasn't doing right. I had friends that told me, Jewel, if something's wrong, you just isolate yourself. I would isolate myself. I wouldn't talk to nobody. I'm like, let me come back on the scene.
Get myself together.
When I get myself together. Because I didn't want to be known as the friend with all the problems.
Yep.
But also, too, like you stated, that's self-esteem issues. You're scared of what others might say, so you don't say anything. Exactly. So you don't say anything, you don't do anything. And I talk to my dad. He does the same exact thing. So I get it honestly. But I'm not as bad as I used to be. If something like really like
irks you or
piss me off, or I done hit a low point, cut off the world, isolate. Just isolate, regain my composure, and then it might take about 2-3 months. I don't stay and wallow in it, but I get up. Yeah. But now that I'm realizing open communication, and like we stated, with age comes wisdom.
Yes.
So I had to really... So with that, you have to really be knowledgeable. Don't push yourself out or don't push others out because you're afraid to let them in. And it goes back to being vulnerable. Do you think being vulnerable plays a big part in communication?
Yeah, especially if you're letting yourself be vulnerable. If you're, you're so down on yourself or your self-esteem so low, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Some people see it as a weakness and they'll prey on it. And
I used to think like that, but I changed my mindset.
They'll manipulate you for, oh, you're weak. You don't think about yourself. Let me see what I can
get out of you,
make you do for me.
Exactly.
And that's how it is. And the worst part is it goes into relationships. And then some people don't know how to leave the relationship because there was no communication.
Mm-hmm.
And they're stuck in one little thing. And then now you have a couple in crisis.
And also, too, you have unsuccessful people with talent. You ever notice how, even like with power couples like Beyonce and Jay-Z, they may have been going through whatever they were going through, but you never seen it. And they said they did do therapy. They did do these things behind the scenes, to pull them back together. So you know, it's communication. If you have no communication, and sometimes communication is hard. Communication is so hard for some people. Now, I do not agree with everything this man has said. A lot of stuff I do not agree with. Yep. But one thing that President Trump said, and it really made me want to bring it to you guys, because this is something that I feel as though is a nice, important topic. He said, today's people are too soft.
Yep.
We have some, we understand, that really are soft, really are emotional and all that stuff. But then you also have the straight shooters.
Yep.
And one thing I can say,
one
thing I can say, when he said that, it really made me think, like, that is true.
It is true.
You know how they have all, like, it should be a fine line between being discrimination and things like that. It's a fine line between being a straight shooter and discriminating.
Yep.
Okay?
Big line.
A big line. But it's a fine line in today's society. If I say, okay, we get constructive criticism behind the scenes on our videos, but we don't take it to heart. Right. But we do have open communication, and we let people know, you know, this is what we want, this is what we don't want, and the rest we can compromise on. Yep. And that's another thing. So when you have patience, self-esteem, communication, just all these great topics that we've been talking about tonight, I think we could go on and on.
We could.
And I'm telling you, how do you feel about that? Do you believe that people have gotten a little too sensitive?
Yeah, I believe so, because, I mean, you remember, we're also raised in also a post-racial time. Right. That's where we are actually the first generation that really was post-racism, post-Jim Crow, more meaning for people. Mm-hmm. You know, more interracial relationships were opening up.
Right.
We're that generation. But also, you have to look at as, even though we're the ones leading the new generation. Exactly. So is the new generation soft because of us? Because we don't want them to go through the same thing we went through, where we have to learn respect, learn that no matter what you do, you hold yourself up high and you push through it.
You hold
now,
your
this
head
day and
up high.
age, if you have a problem or anything, you have more avenues to go to. That's what we didn't have.
Right.
We didn't have the avenues to go to. So you have more avenues to go to, more doctors or more therapy or more educational resources that you can go to because you have the internet. You have everything else. Right. We didn't have those. Ours was go to work. But we'll bring that back up on Way Back Wednesday. We'll get to that on Way Back Wednesday. Exactly. But still, I'm going to have to agree with them too. This generation is soft. But at the same time, would you rather have people who just want to rule the world and be aggressive all the time? Where you looked at the enemy? Or do you want to be someone like, okay, you might consider me soft, but I'm not doing anything to you. Right. I'm not offending you. I'm not hurting you. I'm minding my own business. But in your eyes, you might think I'm soft.
I believe it's compromise.
But that's a communication that needs to be had between people. But we'll get into that another time, and we're going to take you back to Way Back Wednesday. Of course, make sure you check in. But if you have anything you want to say on this topic, remember you can follow us on IG, YouTube, like, subscribe, comment,
share
it.
Get this message out. Because a lot of our things that we talk about sometimes are a little raunchy.
Yes.
Other times, you know, it's very serious. Mental health was very serious.
Yes.
Wit Us Cares campaign, it was excellent on Instagram. I'm happy so many of y'all actually tuned in, and our production team was actually sending us the stats daily.
Yes.
So we were able to see everything. This topic, communication, unsuccessful people, Motivational Monday, this is something that's very near and dear to our hearts.
Yes.
Because we want to get that message out there. The children are our future. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight.
And it's your boy Pancho V312.
It's your girl, Miss J Pretty.
Go ahead and turn that TrizzillBangin on right now. You know you want to hear Millionaires. Life of Plug is out. And guess what?
Life's a Blur.
Life's a Blur. Oh my gosh, I keep saying Blur. Blur. Life's a Blur. And the deluxe edition is coming soon. More tracks, go ahead, get it. It's on iTunes, on Spotify. Oh, and guess where else? It's on Tidal. It's on Tidal.
And guess what? Pause. We got it first. We got it first. We got it first. Interview like and we about to be like